Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode 104, and this is a show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show. So let's get started. We go worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. So number 20, what was worst pick of the week this week? And that is Secret Wars issue 4. Just not feeling this series. You know, I said in my review, I think it's just an acquired taste. I personally just don't like Hickman's writing that much. And I'm not that interested in the Doom story. Don't really care about him being Doom God. So obviously that's a big reason I don't like this main series. I'm debating, do I want to like get it more? But at the same time, I don't want to really be out of the loop. So, and I only have 4 issues left. So yeah, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 4 issues left. So I want to finish it up, but at the same time, I'm not really enjoying it. So I'm going to see as the series goes on, and when the week comes where issue 5 is released, I'll see if I'll get it. But yeah, just not feeling this series that much. The artwork is okay. There's a lot of old faces, I like to call them. I don't love the facial expressions. Here's a good example. Just they're always in shock for some reason. I feel like the facial expressions could be a bit better, and the art's a bit simplistic. I think the coloring is really good, but the art is okay. So yeah, overall, Secret Wars issue 4 for me gets 2 stars. It's not my type of story. Alright, moving on to number 19, which is Coven issue 1. This is from Zenescope, and I just picked it up because it was a new Zenescope miniseries. I really like Zenescope's work for the most part, but I don't know much about, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce her name right, Baba Yaga? I don't know. I just started reading Zenescope maybe like a year or 2 ago. I think it's exactly a year ago now that I started reading Zenescope, so I'm not familiar with all the characters, but I picked this up to see what it was all about, and it's about witches, which is more of the Wiccan type witches, which I'm not always interested in. It's like a darker form of it, but the artwork was really good for the book. But if you know the character, I think you'll like the issue. If you don't, you'll be a little lost like I am. It wasn't as new reader friendly as I wanted it to be. So that's number 19. So let's move on to 18. Let me see exactly what I gave number 18, the grade. But yeah, number 18 is Batman Beyond. A little higher than it was. You guys might be asking, why the hell did I get Batman Beyond? I keep saying I don't like it, and I don't really like Batman Beyond that much, but you know, the reason I got the first issue is because I heard Barbara was in the issue. I'm like, alright, I'll get the second issue because Barbara's still in the issue. But at this point, I don't think Barbara could save this series. It's still kind of dull. You know, the people that like Terry McGinnis, they're upset that he's not in it, and then the people that obviously like Tim Drake, for me, I love Tim Drake, but it's not a great story. It goes back to Future's End, the stupid eye plot that should have been over a really long time ago. I'm kind of drained from that story. So even Barbara Gordon's not going to make me get the next issue. And the artwork's okay. It's a bit on the messy side. So yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible story. I thought this issue was actually better than the first issue, but still not enough of the hook for me to get issue 3. So I will be dropping Batman Beyond after issue 2. So that's number 18. Alright, moving on to number 17, which is Tales of Terror issue 12, which I just learned this is the second to last issue before the series ends, which is disappointing. I've liked it, but again, I think it is time to give it a rest. It is only short stories, so how much can you do with short stories? But it's been a fun ride. But yeah, this issue's a bit on the lower side. I didn't fall in love with the character as I usually do with these type of stories. I think they do really great character development. As the story continues, or as the issue goes on. I think they do really a good job with one issue and having a really cool character. Here, it's an interesting twist, but at the same time, kind of sort of coming. It's, you know, this human that dies because of the mob, tries to go connect to his family and find out he's a zombie. And I was like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, I didn't care enough about the character to care about the twist. So that was kind of my problem with the issue, but still a good twist. If you like zombies, I'll recommend it, but it's, you know, not the best Tales of Terror issue. So Tales of Terror issue 12 gets 2.5 stars. I think we're up to 16 now? We are up to 16, which is Barbed Wire, issue 1. This is a series I've just been seeing promoted a lot in different places, and I thought the cover looked really cool. I think it's like Adam Hughes' art, so I was like, oh, you know, it looks like a cool series. And I learned it's based on a mini-series from like the 90s. I thought this would be new reader friendly because, hey, it's a mini-series from 20 years ago. You would think they'd make it a little bit new reader friendly, and here it's like jumping into a story you don't really know about. And I believe with issue 1s, and why I don't, you know, even when I love a character, I do believe they should make it new reader friendly. If a new person's picking up issue 1, yeah, you should have stuff for the older readers, of course. I think you should have that, but also make it new reader friendly. That's why I kind of understand what Nick Spencer's doing with like Ant-Man. Like, as much as I want the older story with Cassie, and you know, other characters, I understand the point what he's doing to make new readers feel comfortable. Going back to it, Barbed Wire was not new reader friendly, or the way they kind of jump you into the plot I didn't love. I didn't really know much about the character after reading issue 1, and that was disappointing. The artwork was actually really good. That's something I enjoyed about the issue, but there's no hook, there's nothing that really got me into the book, and I just thought it was very un-new reader friendly. If it was, you know, for new readers, it just jumped you into the plot a bit too much. So I gave that a 2.5. Moving on to number 15, which is Flash Season 0, issue 10. A bit disappointed to see this issue so low, but you know, I think Flash Season 0 is fun, especially as we go into the hiatus, or as we've been in the hiatus. It's fun to, you know, read some Barry Allen DC TV Universe stuff. With the first story, I was a bit disappointed. It's actually a Caitlin Snow story, and it's about like this science experiment. Someone turns into a cyborg, and I was just a bit bored with the sciencey aspect of it. I'm like, all right, kind of get to the picture. This could have been a lot better for Caitlin to have a cool arc, and I guess, where the character was going. Of, you know, she had a past, she did wrong things. Of course, a character that is destined to be a villain. I like that idea, but the actual plot, the actual robot thing, was not that interesting. So that's one reason I think this issue went so low. And then there's a secondary story with just Barry running around and being a true hero and inspiring people. I like that story, but I think the first story kind of dragged it down so much that I couldn't enjoy the second story as much as I wanted to. So overall, I thought it was an okay issue. I don't think it's a must pick up. I do think there's better Flash Season 0 issues, so I gave this issue 3 stars. Alright, moving on to number 14, which is Robin Hood Ongoing, issue 12. This issue was okay too. Again, not the best Robin Hood issue, but it was fun. We get to see the Rot guy return, and we learn a little bit about his history. And it was a cute ending where he ends up with his wife again. So it was a cute issue. It is a bit on the forgettable side. I felt it dragged on a bit, this issue with the Rot guy. I don't know if I cared enough about the Rot person, but again, it was a cute issue. If you like Robin Hood, pick it up, but it's not the best Robin Hood issue. So I gave issue 12 3 stars. Alright, let's see what issue we are up to. What number are we up to? We are up to number 13, which is Ultimate End, issue 3. This is another book that kind of disappointed me this week, and I have to say Ultimate End in general has been disappointing me. I just feel like Brian Michael Bendis could do a bit better with having more character moments, honestly. This issue, I won't say it's a filler, it's not. There's stuff that happens, but there's just not a lot of interesting things to happen. It's, you know, Hulk vs. Hulk that we had in the last issue, kind of the ramifications of that, but I've seen that many times, and it's just Iron Man against Nick Fury. It's things we've seen before, and, you know, for End of a Universe, I feel like is so unique and original with a great story. They could just done a lot more, and, yeah, the story is just not as interesting as I want it to be, and maybe not focusing on the characters I want them to focus on, like Jessica Drew or, you know, Miles, the characters that have really become the main characters of the Ultimate Universe for the last couple of years. I feel like they've dealt with everything that was going on with Captain America, Iron Man. We've seen these stories already. Let's see how, you know, Bombshell deals with this. It is so small pages that we actually got the characters that have been a part of the Ultimate Universe for these past years. So yeah, Ultimate End I've been a little disappointed with. I just feel like Brian Michael Bendis could do a bit more character moments that I love, where the, you know, two people just sit in a room like that Gwen Stacy and Peter 616 moment. I wanted more of those, but we're just not getting that at the moment. So Ultimate End issue 3 gets 3 stars for me. I was a little disappointed. Alright, moving on to number 12, which is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 19.1. Not a bad issue. I do feel like this arc has been going on for a little while, so I do think the arc should be a bit shorter. But it's good. I like that they're focusing on Yuri and her turning into an anti-hero. It's very interesting route, and they've been doing it well with this spiral arc. But this issue, I will say the miniseries in general could focus on one villain, I would say. There's a lot of different villains they've been trying to balance throughout the 4 issues. So the actual plot could be a bit better, but the character moments are really well done here. And the art was, pretty good. I enjoyed it. I like the action scenes. I think they do well. The actual Yuri, like when they're not in their costumes, could be a bit better with the facial expressions. But overall, and also I think the backgrounds could be a bit better with certain things. A good example is the Javits Center, which I can't find with a page for it, but I think it's maybe towards the beginning, but it could have had a little bit more detail. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good issue. I do think that the series has been better, but I'm excited to see where it ends. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 19.1 gets 3.5 stars. Alright, I think we're up to number 11. We are up to number 11, which is Green Arrow issue 42. I'm not saying I love the new direction this series has been going in, but I do think they have some improvements to this series too, and a lot of things that Oliver didn't have in previous issues. And that's his I always screw up this word for some reason today. Him being a philanthropist. I like that they're bringing that back, and him caring about, people, I would say, humanity. Bringing back his ideas of humanity and politics and mixing that together, and they do that well with this issue, and that's something I do applaud. And I think the artwork for overall is pretty good. I still don't love the hairstyle for Oliver, but overall I think they do have some cool stuff, like the Arrow Cave, I like that. Again, the hair could use some work, but the artwork's pretty good. But the things I don't like is that the uses of supporting characters, like Amiko's in this issue. Seems like she's gonna be a supporting character, but hasn't really done much in the past 2 issues. She's like a assassin. She grew up to be an assassin. Make her do some more stuff, or be there for Oliver a bit more. She just kind of seems like this 2-dimensional character that's just there for Oliver to talk to. So yeah, develop her a bit more. And then it's also disappointing not to see the supporting characters I loved from the last run, which is Felicity, Dig, Mia, especially Mia. I want Mia to be in this series. I want to see where her story goes. So I guess that's the disappointing part of this issue and this creative team's run so far. But overall, I do like this a bit more than Lemire's run, and I think it has potential. So this issue I gave 3.5 stars. Alright, moving on to number 10, which is Princess Leia, issue 5, which is the last issue of this miniseries, which is disappointing, and I will say that's the reason it's a bit on the lower side. Because it's a fun adventure, I like the artwork a lot for this series, but I would say the series had never beaten issue 1. Issue 1 shocked me. I loved it. It made me really get more into Star Wars, and, want to learn more about Princess Leia's character, but as we go into the miniseries, it just feels like one arc. It doesn't feel like a mini-series. It doesn't feel complete. I want more, So, what I like about this issue, though, is that her friendship she has made with this other, her citizen, her pupil, I would say. And the friendship she's made and kind of the impact she's made and showing really her personality. And that's something I really enjoyed about this issue. I don't really care about the villain, I will say that. I don't really care about who captured her and who was the mole and all that. But I liked where the story went with her character and the ending of where she, I won't spoil it, but where she goes. So, yeah, it felt like more of an ending to an arc than a miniseries, but I liked it. I liked the miniseries overall, and I definitely recommend the miniseries, especially for that first issue. So, Princess Leia, issue 5, gets 3.5 stars for me. That was number 10. Alright, moving on to number 9, which is Years of Futures Past, issue 2. So, yeah, I thought this was a little bit more disappointing than the first issue. I do feel like this is more of, here's the point A to point B. I wanted a bit more character moments with Christine and Wolverine's son, but it's still a good issue. We have a really good cliffhanger with Lockheed returning, so really enjoyed that. It's been a while since we've seen Lockheed, so that was cool, and obviously tying back to Kitty's past. And it's a question of what's President Kelly gonna do next. But yeah, I enjoyed issue 1 a bit more. I think there's a bit more going on there. But it's still a good issue. I'm still enjoying the series as a whole. Really, really great artwork. So yeah, Years of Futures Past issue 2 gets 3.5 stars. It was okay, but still interested to see where the series goes, of course. Alright, moving on to number 8. Number 8, which is Secret Wars Journal, issue 3, and I was relatively impressed with this book. It's 2 short stories that were actually both really good. First story is Wolverine's like this noir detective and has to figure out who killed Tony Stark. And the way they reveal the killer was really well done. I enjoyed that. The artwork fit the story very well. It was just a fun little story. I'm like, I kind of want to see where this would have went. But it was a cool little short story for Secret Wars, so that was pretty cool. But the story that really impressed me was the second story, which is what I wanted Planet Hulk to be. It's dealing with people being Hulks and people getting angry, ordinary people, superheroes like Janet and Hank, and how their marriage sucks. And it sucks even more because now they're both Hulks. So I really enjoyed that. Enjoyed what they did with Peter's story in the end, how he's a Hulk and how he's dealing with his uncle's death and being a Hulk at the same time. So the second story was really, really well done. And if that was Planet Hulk would be one of my favorite Secret Wars books, but it's not. Instead, they have Captain America. I'm like, no, go back to this. I want to learn why these these people are, how they deal with being Hulks. I want to see that. That's a more interesting story, personally, for me, of why I would want to pick up Planet Hulk. So yeah, I enjoyed that second story. Enjoyed the first story too, and I thought overall this was a really solid issue with 2 really cool short stories. So Secret Wars Journal issue 3 gets a solid 4 stars for me. Alright, now we are moving on to number 7, which is American Vampire, the Second Cycle, issue 8. I thought this was a cool issue. I do think it needs to pick up a bit more momentum with American Vampire, especially since it's been delayed. And I hate that because American Vampire is one of my favorite series. So, but this issue is cool. We get to see the VMS, who, I hope I got that right, I don't know why it's VMS. They want to destroy Skinner, and Skinner doesn't really know that. He's going up to space to try to find a cure for this monster-type virus he has right now, and it's obviously connecting to America going to the moon. It's really cool. So we're seeing the VMS kind of backstab Skinner, which he deserves it. And then the other story, which I'm really enjoying, with Pearl and Felicia having to go to Area 51 and finding exactly what's down there. It's not aliens, it's these vampires type, and someone backstabs them in the end, so we have to see if they'll be able to survive, which I'm sure they will, but it's just some really good tension here. Great artwork by Albuquerque. Yeah, Albuquerque. I think he has some great artwork. Love his art style. It's a bit on the darker side, though. If you haven't noticed, Second Cycle is very much on the darker side than going back to the beginning of the original American Vampire series in that original first volume. So, but still cool. Really enjoying it. Solid issue. I do think this was a bit on the slower side than the other issues, but there's some built-up tension to where the series is going, which excites me. And hopefully the next issue won't be delayed. But yeah, American Vampire Second Cycle, for me, gets a solid 4 stars. And that was number 7. Alright, moving on to number 6, which is A-Force issue 2. Yeah, much higher than it was. I remember A-Force was a bit on the bottom side of the list when it first came out. But I thought this was a solid issue. I think the artwork's really well done, and they're dealing with a lot of the character interactions. A-Force kind of separating in a way, because some heroes believe this new creature that has come is destroying their domain and, you know, getting people in trouble, and then the other half is like, no, she's like innocent, we don't even know if this is her, you know, you have to prove that she's guilty, innocent before proven guilty. So a lot of stuff about the law here, of course, because She-Hulk is definitely one of the main characters here. But yeah, good artwork, and I thought the character moments were a bit better here. And I mean, I still want to learn how the hell this team came together. I still don't really get this domain. That's still a problem for me with A-Force, but I thought they did the character moments well here. And it was a good issue, and a good cliffhanger where we get to see She-Hulk in like another dimension, and I thought it was solid. So A-Force issue 2 gets 4 stars for me, and that was number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is Outcast, issue 10. I think this is the first time Outcast ever made it to top 5. You know, I feel like Outcast is a really slow burn, and it is, and finally stuff is being developed here. We see our main character, Mark, he finally interacts with his ex-wife, and his ex-wife does not understand why he left. And then we know why Mark left, because I'm trying to think, I think it was the wife who was the you know, taken by the devil, and we're finally digging into that family stuff that I've been really waiting for with this series. And, you know, we get to see some really emotional moments with beautiful artwork. One thing I love about Outcast is how they focus on, like, the little details. You even have a little box of, like, you know, hands fidgeting or, you know, crying. It's so well done, the way they lay out the art, which I've been very impressed with Outcast. And this issue impressed me. It's finally developing a bit more, and it's less of a slow burn. If it keeps going in this direction, I think I can really enjoy Outcast more than I have been. So Outcast issue, we up to issue 10, gets 4 stars, and that was number 5 on the list. So let's move on to number 4, which is Jupiter's Circle, issue 4. This has been on top 5 a lot, because I've been really enjoying this series, and it just keeps getting better and better, because we have the hero that's been cheating on his wife, gets in a really bad accident, and then he learns that, yeah, he's getting older, and he can't fight that, and his family's always got to be there for him, and even this, like, the kid who wants to kill his father just hugs him and says, "I love you, Daddy," which I have to go read Jupiter's Legacy again, so I'm sure they've dealt with this. I kind of wish Jupiter Circle came first. That way we have Jupiter Legacy now, because a lot of things are making more sense, and I love Jupiter Legacy also, so kind of wish they did the reverse, but still cool to see the prequel, and really enjoyed this issue, because first of all, the artwork is so well done. I really like the simplicity of it. I think it works really well. It works for the time period they're trying to portray also, which I think it's around the 50s. That they're trying to portray here, and it's just a really good story of this guy who's kind of afraid to get old, and he has this this 19-year-old girlfriend, and how the family kind of deals with that, and where the 19-year-old girlfriend goes in the future. Is she still gonna be a hero? Will she not? Will she abandon this guy? So yeah, it's a really cool story, a very solid story. So I give Jupiter Circle issue 4 4 stars, and if you're not reading this series, it's really well done. I think it's Mark Millar's some of his best work here. Alright, moving on to number 3, which is Giant Size Little Marvels AVX issue 2. Damn, this book is good. It's so funny. I love it. You know, as you could probably go back to my other Comic Uno episodes, I'm not a big comic fan. You know, I tend not to pick them up because it usually doesn't progress the story that well. I feel like some of the humor is forced. But Giant Size just does such a great job at referencing the Marvel Universe. And that's kind of the humor I like with these type of comics, like Tiny Titans. Like, it references old stories, and you're like, I get that reference. And Giant Size is like the Marvel version of Tiny Titans. It's so well done. And so cute. The artwork is good, and you just want to find out, what is the Avengers and X-Men going to get angry at each other now? And they're trying to invite these 2 new kids from their school to try to be friends with them, and it's just such a fun issue with some great references all the way through. I hope this could become an ongoing series and become like that Tiny Titans from Marvel. So yeah, really fun issue, 4.5 stars. And again, I'm not a huge comedy book fan, but this is just does such a great job. And I laugh out loud with every issue so far. So pick this up, it's good. Alright, so that's number 3. Moving on to number 2, which is We Can we get Stand on Guard, issue 1. And I kind of got this randomly because of the creative team. Brian K. Vaughan, who works on Saga. I missed that series. I'm still catching up on it. And I'm like, I don't want to miss another one of his series. So I pick up this, and it's about Canada versus America. It's a world where they're totally in war, and it's a futuristic world. And we follow the main character, you know, her when she was a kid, where her family's, you know, dealing with Canada versus America and not liking Americans, and now they're living in this post-apocalyptic world of Canada versus America. And again, we see our main character grow, and now she shoots a gun, and she knows how to protect herself, and you want to see how that came about. It's a really great issue. It was a great setup, and it made me really interested to see where the story goes. So I actually gave this 4.5 stars, and I will get this printed next time I go to the store, because I really want to follow this book. I think it's really good, and it was a really, really good start. That's how you do a first issue. You have a really interesting plot, and this is just a crazy plot of Canada versus America. Really cool artwork. I think it fits the book well. And a cool character. So I want to follow her story a bit more. And again, I'm going to get that printed. So I'll get issue 1 and I'll get issue 2 printed too. I'll definitely be following this book, and I totally recommend it. I think this could be a really cool next worldly book for Brian K. Vaughan. He just does such a great job with character development and also building a world, building this post-apocalyptic world. So let's move on to number 1. What was pick of the week? And that was Broken World, issue 2. This is in a row now. Issue 1 was my pick of the week, and now issue 2. I love this series. It's so well done, and I think more people should pick it up. Now, this issue takes place a couple months after issue 1, actually. Seeing the world that it wasn't destroyed. So did the government trick them to go into space for some reason? And now you're seeing our main character deal with this world. People are partying. It's like, yeah, we survived it. But what happens when all those supplies are gone? And her dealing with her not having her family anymore and not knowing where her family is. So we get to see some flashbacks of right after the world didn't die. And now her finding an old student, and they're going to team up to go their separate ways, but also kind of help each other to survive this. It's just such a well-done book, and the main character is so intriguing because she has this mystery to her, but not too much. You know enough about her motives, and you're intrigued by her, but there is that mystery, like, what the hell did she do so wrong? How is she this powerful person? So I hope we learn that throughout the miniseries, but the artwork is so clean, and it fits so well, and I love the attention to detail. Like, the couple months after, you see her hair is not as styled as it was, and then just the fogginess of the flashbacks. It's such a well-done book, and if you haven't been picking up Broken World, I've been totally impressed by it, and I can't wait to read issue 3. So Broken World issue 2 gets my pick of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Let me know in the comments below what was your worst pick of the week, your best pick of the week, and everything in between. Hope you guys enjoyed. Also, guys, next week I won't have a Comic Uno episode because I will be at San Diego Comic-Con. But if you want my thoughts on next week's books, please check out Twitter and Facebook. Check out Twitter and Facebook because I will have mini reviews, and hopefully that will be part of Frontline.com. So go check out Frontline.com if you want a full list of my mini reviews, but check out Twitter and Facebook to see my full thoughts. And that'll be next week, but after that I'll be back on track with regular reviews. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.